Okay, good morning there guys. I've decided to make this video here because I haven't seen anything too much online about the Samsung tablet that is now available at Best Buy, and I believe Staples is selling it as well. And I picked one up a couple days ago, and this isn't so much a review as it is a bit of a warning on what you can expect to get if you pick this up and why I'm not really thrilled with it here. I just want to show you, this is the Samsung ATIV 500T full Windows 8 PC. So this is not running RT, this is the full version of Windows 8, and believe it or not, there's a very specific Canadian model which is quite different than the American model. I will just show you here it booting up. Like I say, this is a really early morning review, so I haven't even had a coffee yet. It does boot up quickly, I will give it that. I'm very happy with the performance of it. It's using an Atom dual-core processor. I don't remember the exact spec, model number of the processor, but so this is right from a cold boot. It's very quick. I will log in. So performance-wise, I'm very happy. I've been able to put the full version of Microsoft Office, running 2010 version of that. Oh, and of course, like I say, early morning, can't type the password correctly. And there we go. So, well, actually this is the longest it's taken to log into my account, but there we are. So, there it is. Responsiveness of the touchscreen, very good. In fact, what I'll do here is I'll just quickly show you Microsoft Word loading up of cold boot. So there we are. Like I say, performance-wise, it's good. It's what I sort of expected from some of the reviews I've read. Now this is where it gets a little weird. So the reviews I've read have all been based on the States, and Samsung has changed the model number for Canada. I believe in the States you can get it for $749 with the keyboard dock, and it also comes with an S Pen. And a Wacom digitizer is built into it as well for note-taking. And in Canada, this runs right now at $699. That does not come with a pen. It does not come with a keyboard dock. In fact, this is where it gets really weird. Let me just go through. Okay, so this is another issue I have with this. If we kind of look up at this right now into my settings, you can see under the wireless, and you can't see it very well, but it actually says in that left top icon, available. Now, here's one of the big problems I've been having, and I can't figure out if it's Windows 8 itself, because I haven't had a Windows 8 device on wireless, but every time I start it, I have to connect to a wireless, even though I've got Connect automatically on. In fact, I had a weirder problem where I wasn't broadcasting my SSID. I had it hidden, and every time I would have to join it by saying that I want to connect to a hidden device, join it, and put all the credentials in every time. I unhid the SSID, but still I have to connect to the wireless every time, and I don't know if that's a Windows 8 thing. I have a feeling it's actually not, and it has something to do with the network card in this device, which is a Broadcom. And because I did have an issue where I actually had to power it off because I tried to go into network settings and it said there's no network device connected to your computer. Anyways, back on track with the device. So here's the manual that I got with it in 4 different languages. And the model number there does not specify. It says 500-71C, which is the same model number in the States. But if you look on Best Buy, if you look on the box, it gives like a dash 401CA at the end instead of US. But on the very first page of the manual, it shows optional accessories. Number 1 being the keyboard dock there, and also if you look closely there, it shows the S Pen at the end. And then if we go a little bit farther in the manual where it starts to show diagrams of the system, right there it shows the side of the system, and sorry for the focus issues there, guys. It shows the S Pen as an optional component, and it slides out of the system. Well, this probably would be very difficult, as this is the side that it refers to. And we can clearly see here there is no place for an S Pen there. So I thought, okay, fine. So it doesn't come with it, it's an optional accessory. Well, I've talked to a couple of different Samsung representatives through a live chat offered by Samsung, and I will admit 2 days ago when I first talked to the first person, he really evaded most of my questions when I talked about differences between the American and the Canadian model. Either they didn't know, or either he didn't know, or he wasn't willing to tell me anything. Talked to another person just yesterday, and I hate to use the word confirmed because it came from one person, but they said that there was no plans to sell the keyboard dock in Canada. And right on the bottom there is actually the connector. There are two little holes right here, and basically I'll show you this. They have kind of a filler in them, which is a little plastic piece, and then they kind of open up to reveal what I'm guessing is the magnets that are used once you've used the connector dock. And so they're actually filled in somewhat, and every picture that I could find on the Samsung page doesn't show these little fillers in there when it's showing the diagrams of the system. So anyways, very disappointed, because I will tell you that the one main reason that I got that, well, there was two reasons obviously. One being that it ran full Windows 8 instead of the RT version, meaning I could use it like anything. It does have a USB port, which also, by the way, FutureShop says, FutureShop and Best Buy both say that it's a USB 3 connection. However, everything in Samsung's documentation, and when I've tested it with an external hard drive, it's clearly USB 2. It's not color-coded blue, or does not get any rates from a USB 3 drive that I would expect. So, yet some more wrong documentation. Anyways, the Samsung's not going to sell the keyboard dock. Well, this is not very useful to me, because I wanted the ability to turn this into an ultra thin, and it's supposed to hinge on the dock and work that way as well. So the second reason I got it is for that keyboard dock, and it's not going to be useful. So I believe this is going back, and it's probably going back tomorrow unless something changes. The other interesting thing that really bothers me is a couple days ago, before I got it, I went on to try to do as much research as I can when I get these things on first day or first week releases kind of thing. On Samsung's page, it did show, on the Canadian page, it did show the S Pen as an option to the device. It didn't really talk about the keyboard. It showed a picture of the keyboard, but it didn't really talk about the keyboard on the product page. Well, now, if you go to Samsung.ca and try to find this product page on their website, it's not there. It's gone. If you do a search on the model number, you can get the device to come up, and you can even read the manual to it if you'd like. But if you try to find it through any of the product pages and get specs on it, even after you done that search on the product model number and then try to find any more specs on it, you'll get some file not found errors and things like that. So clearly Samsung's quite aware of the displeasure of this sort of gimped down Canadian version, and so I'm not very happy with it that way. Performance wise it's great. I will say it has locked up a few times. I think it's locked up mostly when you're doing multitasking, swiping from the side very quickly and multitasking between the apps, but it has locked up to the point where I have had to hold down the button for 5 or 6 seconds and it turns off. Just a curious thing, there is a bias in this that you can actually access by turning power on and then holding the home button down for a minute during the Samsung logo. Very skimpy bias, but it is there, and I was always curious how you would reload Windows 8 if it got to the point where it wouldn't boot anymore. But apparently there is ways to recover. The unit is very plasticky. It's the only real physical complaint I have with it. Very much like the Galaxy S3 phone. But I'm okay with that. It doesn't flex a lot. I will mention that if I'm looking at it here, it's not consistent on the bezel, meaning that I can ram my thumbnail up to that and stop, and ram my thumbnail up to here and stop, but in the middle the bezel's actually very much lower there than anywhere else, and it does flex a bit, but I don't think there's been any other real tons of oddities to the software. Well, other than if we get back to the whole thing with the S Pen, I could not get Samsung to actually admit whether there was even a digitizer over the screen. I am pretty sure there's not. The software update that Samsung's software updater, excuse me, when it tries to run every day, it tells me that there's a digitizer update, and every time it does it, it fails. If I look through Device Manager, there is no digitizer in there that I can tell, so I'm pretty sure it does not even have it, even if you got the pen. So, which is too bad, because that was obviously, when you're holding this in portrait mode, you really want to be able to take notes and draw on it, and from what I've heard, the American model is pressure sensitive. So that's kind of disappointing. The other thing to note, if what I found on Samsung's product page, and I believe it says this on Best Buy site as well, is that it's a 10 finger multi-touch. The manual actually says 5. So, you know, more inconsistencies. I'm just very disappointed in Samsung for releasing a product that is not up to par as the one they've been advertising in the States. Maybe that one isn't even, maybe all the specs aren't even accurate on it. It just seems like somebody dropped the ball on getting documentation to be accurate with what is actually out there. So it's too bad. I like Samsung. I've had good luck with a lot of their products, but this one, unfortunately, is going back, and I guess my life with a Windows 8 tablet is not going to happen quite yet. So anyways, I just wanted to provide this as a warning to people in Canada, as I haven't really seen anything online. I have seen some forums, but I haven't really seen any videos online where people were stating all these things. So if anything changes on this, or when I go to Best Buy and return this tomorrow, if anything different comes up, or if they have anything, I'm kind of curious whether they got any sort of communication from Samsung on warning people when they buy these, what they come with and do not come with, because it is just not clear in any of the promotional material. Okay, thanks guys. Have a great day.